This may be a short story, but I felt this was super important and I wanted to talk about it. I have already made videos about Ryan Walters, the former superintendent of public instruction in Oklahoma, kind of the guy who runs public education in the state of Oklahoma. He recently resigned to take up a job trying to destroy teachers' unions because that's what's fun in conservative circles. And that's great news. He's gone. I talked about how teachers were basically throwing parties for him because he's gone. No one liked this guy. The whole office has been taken over. Ryan Walters' replacement has been so far pretty amazing. And by amazing, I mean just like standard, normal, boring professional, which is exactly what you want if you're running public education. So everyone's been better off since Ryan Walters left. And that's basically what I've talked about when it comes to Ryan Walters up to this point. But specifically, what I have not talked about yet is how good his departure has been for LGBTQ people. Because Ryan Walters was horrible toward LGBTQ people because he's a conservative Christian. And I just want to point you to a couple things he did here. Check out this article from LGBTQ Nation. Let me pull this up really quick. Yeah. Activists cited the state policies on trans youth, anti-trans policies, as contributing to anti-LGBTQ plus animosity there. This includes bills banning gender-affirming care for trans minors, legally defining gender based on sex assigned at birth, and implementing a 2022 law forcing trans students to use the wrong bathrooms. So that's not Ryan Walters, but that's what Oklahoma has been doing to LGBTQ people. What did Walters do? Walters sought to ban LGBTQ books, but teach the Bible in history classes. He pushed the transphobic lie about schools providing litter boxes to students who identify as cats. Really quick, if you're not familiar with that story, they did not have litter boxes in the classroom because students identified as furries. One teacher that was contacted by, I believe, NBC News said, one district said that we keep litter boxes in the classroom because if there is a school shooting and a student needs to go to the bathroom, a litter box is kind of the way we can handle that emergency. But people on the right said, oh, kids want to be furries, and so they want to poop in a litter box because these are not smart people we are talking about here. What else did Ryan Walters do besides spreading that lie? He referred to teachers' unions as terrorist organizations, and still does in his new job. He illegally tried to make rules banning LGBTQ books and transgender bathroom access in schools. He has appeared at events hosted by Moms for Liberty, a right-wing anti-LGBTQ parents' rights group that has been called an extremist hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Why are they called an extremist hate group? Because of literally everything they say and do. They love quoting Hitler in their newsletters. He also appointed Libs of TikTok, Chaya Raichek, an anti-LGBTQ activist, as a library media advisor for the state, even though she has no experience, doesn't live in Oklahoma, and has made posts that have led to bomb threats against students. So that's what Ryan Walters has done. So when Ryan Walters leaves his post, teachers are excited. Superintendents and administrators are super excited about this guy leaving. But what happens to LGBTQ students when he leaves? And this is kind of incredible. I just want to show you there is a crisis hotline in Oklahoma specifically called the Rainbow Youth Project. This is for students who are having very depressing thoughts, which, listen, if you live in Oklahoma and you're a trans student, you're gay or lesbian, you might have really disturbing thoughts. And you can call this hotline and they will try to help you. Check out what has happened since Ryan Walters left. Between March 2024 and September 2025, which is when Ryan Walters was in office, Rainbow Youth Project received an average of 1,431 monthly calls from Oklahoma. Sorry, I said they were based in Oklahoma. They're not, but they got that many calls from Oklahoma, according to a press release. In the 30 days following Walters' announcement of his resignation, that number fell to 914, a 36% decline. Following Ryan Walters' resignation, we have noticed a substantial decrease in crisis calls from Oklahoma Lance Preston, the organization's executive director, said, "The relief expressed by callers is palpable, and we are grateful for the positive impact his departure has had on the mental well-being of our community." Let me say that one again, because holy shit, you're never going to hear a line like that very much. We are grateful to Ryan Walters for the positive impact his departure has had on the mental well-being of our community. Before his exit, nearly 2/3 of Oklahoma callers, 64%, identified Walters as a source of distress. Do you realize how shitty of a human being you have to be when your resignation leads a crisis hotline to say, "We notice a substantial decrease in the number of calls because you're no longer in charge of anything. The world is a better place because you're no longer, Ryan Walters, in charge politically." That is incredible. Like, I knew substantively that Oklahoma was better off now that Ryan Walters is gone. I knew qualitatively that it was better with him gone. I had no clue you could put numbers to this thing. That is incredible. Again, look at the headline from LGBTQ Nation here. Calls to hotline decline sharply after Christian conservative resigns as education head. That's this guy's legacy. I don't even have any notes for this, but like, I cannot imagine doing a job and then when I leave, people throw parties because I'm gone, and kids are mentally better off because I'm doing something else with my life. What a garbage person this guy has to be for his departure to literally make everyone's lives better. I mean, I want to see his reaction. I mean, I'm sure he's looking at that and laughing his ass off because he never cared about those kids in the first place. He's a conservative Christian. You think he has empathy? No, he probably thinks empathy is like a woke word. You're not supposed to have that. Like, I'm sure he'll find joy in this. But seriously, what are they teaching at this dude's churches that, again, when you resign from your job, people stop calling hotlines because they're no longer dealing with depression and dangerous episodes? More proof that Ryan Walters' resignation is good for the world. That's it. I just wanted to share some good news with you. What else we got here? That's his legacy, making children so miserable they have a mental health crisis. And not only that, how did he want to resolve mental health crises in schools? He wanted them to see Christian chaplains. That was one of the things he wanted. This is infuriating. I hope Ryan Walters finds out that 64% of queer crisis line callers named him as a source of distress. Take a long look in the effing mirror, Walters. And again, I do hope he finds that out, but also I have no reason to think he would care. And I think he would find that amusing because I don't take him for a guy who has a heart. He's not a role model. He's not a good guy. He's not someone anyone with decency should look up to. We're better off that this guy decided to do a money grab or something and take a job with a nonprofit no one's heard of. Where, by the way, I still follow this guy online, and Ryan Walters is just tweeting his way through it. Everything. Like, he's just trashing teachers' unions, which is what he likes to do. But that's like all he does now. He's not making the world a better place for anybody. I'm thinking very much like It's a Wonderful Life, but hey, the world is better off because you were never born. Now he's gone off to work to disband teachers' unions, right? Yes, he has, leading a group that is financially backed very well, and their whole thing is to destroy teachers' unions.